Hello everybody and welcome for a new Kerbal Space Program video. In this video we will do the first thing that's important for a mission. It's an orbital mission, yes, because after 3 episodes it's a little bit late. We will make the first orbital mission. So this will be tourist orbital mission because we need money, so we will double our gains by making a plane that will both go to orbit for science and for money. So this is a plane because firstly I thought I will make a sort of SSTO but not SSTO. By replacing the cabin with a plane like this we will be able to land normally without parachutes. But then I just changed my point of view. So you can see here what it's looking like in flight. I just turned a little bit the wings because as I'm learning some things at school about planes with the BIA, something French, to learn how to pilot planes, how planes work and other, that will make the plane taking off automatically. As you can see, it's taking off even if I don't touch any key. So this plane works fine and it can go pretty fast, but we will not use it. We maybe will use it for some flights around the globe, but not for now. And as you can see, I tried to see what happens at low speed and we just lose control of the plane. So here is low speed test and it will crash, so I just relaunch it and just changed. So I just cut a part of the video because you don't need to see how I changed some things. I'm turning it into a rocket with just the height part we just keep. And I made a mistake about this rocket. I let you know what's this mistake. Firstly, we will test some things to show what other mistakes are in this plane. I think it's not a plane right now, it's more like a rocket. So I just put a solid rocket booster on the middle and 3 little liquid around to just stabilize it and direct it, because you need to make a certain orbit and the solid fuel booster is not something that can be controlled, so we need some liquid fuel engines to control it, because at the beginning of the game we don't have enough reaction wheels to control this. So this is how the first flight looks like, and we are actually at a real-time speed because in Kerbal Space Program I try as much as I can to put all the flights in real-time speed, even if I need to speed up more the other parts. So here what happens when you just detach the other parts, we aren't able to stabilize it with the hide parts, so we need to change that by adding something like winglets or other. So I will change the motor because the motor wasn't a controllable one, and I will replace the middle thing with the liquid fuel engine if I can. So this is the new rocket type. We will try it out later. It's with more boosters, more power and other things. So this one has no stabilizing parts, and as you can see it's just moving, so we'll just add the tourist in there because the tourist wasn't here, and we will try out how it looks like. So waiting for the game to launch, and here's the rocket. So we have our objectives and just all of that we need. It's the basically the first rocket we will launch to orbital, but it will not be in orbit because it has some mistakes, some problems. So the beginning we are getting right in the position 170, 20,000 meters wait no 2000, so 3000 right now, 4000. We are at Mach 1.5, everything's looking great. Almost Mach 2, we are at 8000 meters from the ground level, Mach 2 passed. We can throttle up the middle engine because we will just cut off the 3 away and as you can see, without any stabilizing part we can't fly, so we need to add winglet. I just made it with a cut, and as you can see, it's basically the same but with all the winglets for the first stage and the second stage. So here's our carbon in there, Jebediah and Madon. Jebediah is pilot and Madon the tourist that pay us 40,000 bucks to get to space, so it's much more than we need to just complete the mission. And the rocket is turning, but no problem, because it was very hard to stabilize it because I had to make it manually because it's turning, but we can do this. We are at 8,000, 9,000 meters from the ground, almost Mach 2. Mach 2 not passed actually. We broke one of our wings, but no matters because two others are doing their job great. So it's like in almost all real life spaceships, you don't need all that you have, just 2 out of 3 are useful. So here's the plane. The G-force in the red is in the green, so it's nice. SAS are working. We passed from Mach 2. We are at 700 meters per second at 30,000 meters from the ground. Here's the tourist view, and here's the pilot's view. So very nice. We are almost like Mach 3. We are at, our apoapsis is at 61,000 meters, and our periapsis at minus 100,000 kilometers, no, meters, but 100 kilometers. It's a lot of numbers, I know, so it's hard to pronounce. We are just passed through the high atmosphere. We are almost at space. We are at more than Mach 3. We are at 1 kilometers per second. So stabilizing through the apoapsis direction and just speeding up because we need to be way more faster. So our first stage will cut off in some seconds. No more fuel, cut off. The other engine is on. We are at Mach 4. Actually, we passed the atmosphere. Our periapsis is at minus 350 kilometers from the ground. Our apoapsis is almost stable at 80 kilometers. We are at 3 minutes and 30 seconds from flight in real time. So as you can see, real time orbits are really fast to achieve. And we are officially in orbit. I just missed a little bit, and our periapsis is at the limit, but our apoapsis is at 200 kilometers from the ground. So here's a little space out mission, taking some science, but no rewards because we already did that. So we just need to get back home from now. So a little point of view, trying to just mess with the keys. And so this mission for now is really nice and will work as well, but you probably saw the mistake from this rocket. I let you write it in comments what's the mistake. Take hashtag this is the mistake, and you won something. If you want, like you can win anything you want. Just ask me, I will not give you anything, but I can make something for you if you just found it. You need to play at Kerbal Space Program at least a bit to know what's going on wrong, or just to reflect, to think about this a little bit. So this is a very thin rocket compared to the planet. We can just press escape and F2 to make some grid point of views like this. Nothing is moving because we are on escape, and it's nice because we're on F2 point of view, so we can just use it for a miniature from the game, I don't know. And we just need to land on water because water is the place where crashes are less dangerous than in other places, I guess. So for this we need to break up a little bit, like this on the periaster direction, periapsis. So we are going to be in the water, so just break a little bit, and here we are approximately sure to be in the water to land. So if you don't know why I was doing this and what's the mistake, you can write it now because I will tell you. I just don't put any parachutes on the rocket because I thought we can use the parachutes of Kerbals to get saved. But I just forgot that tourist hasn't got a parachute because tourists are tourists and they are not able to go out the rocket, excuse me, so they can't have a parachute. So I can save Jebediah, but not the tourist. And here's when I just discovered it. So I was telling myself, so we don't have any parachute, let's try to break with the wind. We have a pretty big surface, so we will not untouch the head of the rocket, and we will land all of this by air braking. Spoiler alert, even with air braking you can't go down slower than 100 meters per second. That's pretty slow for a fast rocket, but for some things that have people inside it's not that slow. So the poor guy have to turn away to not explode the entire rocket by hitting it with the force of air. We are at 16,000 meters away from the ground, and we are at less than Mach 3. We just passed from Mach 3, and we are slowing down pretty quickly. Mach 2 is passed, so we are now not at Mach 2. We are at 10 kilometers from the ground, from the water. Spoiler alert, it's way too fast for a rocket to land just directly on this, and I just saw that electricity is going down here, so we need to cut the SAS and to don't touch any key on the keyboard to let the electricity in the emergency case. So we are at 5,000 meters from the ground with a velocity of 170 meters per second. It approximately is the velocity of the plane of the last episode. And you know what happened to this plane, and if you don't know, you can go watch this video. And it's approximately the time when I realized that air braking will not be sufficient. So I decided to just separate the two stages and hope for the explosion of the separator to just make me go up and lose speed. And spoiler, it's not. We lost speed, but not enough. We hit the ground at 138 meters per second, approximately. So it's way too fast. I just relaunched the mission, but with some parachute and some science things, because we need to make some science after all. And here's the 8 times speed, because you just saw exact same thing, so you will not need to see all in the real time speed. So you can see all that's going on. It's very fast, it's very clean, everything is untouched, everything works well. So at the other side of the planet, the grid view again, and again. The tourist seems very happy to be there and not dying, because this time we have a parachute. And we are at the atmosphere. Here I slowed down it at the real-time speed, so we enter the atmosphere at 2000 meters per second. It's fast, but not that fast for something that can air brake. We will use the remaining of the fuel from the second stage to brake, because I just put so much fuel that we can just waste it to brake, because we don't need to brake with that, but if we can, let's do this. So we slow down from 2000 to 1500 meters per second, so it's 500 meters wind. So it's very nice to not explode in the atmosphere. I think 2000 will have been way much more than needed. So here's what happens when you speed the video and just enter the atmosphere. The game starts making anything wrong, so you need to enter the atmosphere at time 1 speed. And here's the rocket trying to stabilize itself at 300 meters per second, so Mach 1. We are not at Mach 1 and you can see the pilot is not very well, but the tourist, he's happy. So we attached all, deployed the parachute, everything works great. We are looking like if we're pointing down, and we are at the same speed as before, but now we are just at 10 meters per second, so it's very slow, and it's what we need. So if you watched it to here, you can just leave a like, subscribe, or comment. Even just comment makes me happy. So thank you for watching it to the end, and just be happy to look that touching down very nice. So I see you on the next week for the next video, and please just look how Jebediah is nice on the water. Look his face at the right corner, it's incredible. I will take this for profile picture, I guess. So thank you, see you the next time, have a nice day, goodbye. It was ITSkaper on my channel, and I don't know what to say other. Thank you.